Hi everyone, how's everyone doing today? I mean, since it's Sunday, we gotta do the church style welcome. How's everybody doing today?
All right, amen.
All right, amen. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Yes. My name is Jeannell Darden. I am very excited and happy to be here. For those of you who do not know, I was raised here in Augusta. I lived a couple places. I lived up Crawfordville Drive off of down over the bottom mall. I don't remember the roads no more, y'all. I went to Sue Reynolds Elementary School for a split second in time. And then I lived in Bel Air Hills Estates for a while. And then I graduated from Westside High School. I went to Georgia Tech in Atlanta, and I stayed there because I met my husband, y'all. So he wasn't coming with me. Amen. So that's just a little bit about my roots in Augusta. So I'm happy to be here. I'm seeing familiar faces, people that I went to high school with, people I went to church with are here to support. So it's nice to see that. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about why I went natural, how Coco Curls came to be, and give you guys some information on the product, answer any questions you may have, and just kind of go from there. So, in high school, one of those senior years in high school, my mom and dad went to Jamaica. And my mom was a cosmetologist growing up. She worked in the Afro shop in New Orleans, so she cut hair, braided hair, all that. And my dad was a minister, but he was also an entrepreneur. He had a construction business. So I always ever saw my parents hustling. Nobody ever had a 9-to-5 job. During those times where my dad wasn't working and he was taking small churches that couldn't afford to pay him, my mom was rubbing nickels together. She grew our food in the backyard. She made our dresses. She baked cakes. We sold cookies at the Masters one year, made like $700 on the corner selling cookies. All four of me and my brothers and sisters selling cookies. Wow. Before they had made it to where you had to go through the city now to get to the vendor spot. We used to be right there in the corner selling cookies. So I've always seen them kind of hustle and entrepreneurship. So growing up, it was my job to do my hair, my sister's hair. Once by the time I was 10, everybody had a chore in the house. Laundry, bathrooms, whatever. Saturdays, we had to be clean for church. And so I had to have her hair, my sister's hair, my hair done. And so how many of y'all used to do that roller set back in the day? Y'all remember that Lotta Body? What was the other set motion? The blue one. Dang, I can't get it out. Mane and Tail, but no, it was another blue one. I don't remember. But I became a roller set queen. I probably could still roller set any head in 15 minutes. And so I wore Shirley Temple curls up until high school because my dad was like, if you're not in ponytails or barrettes, you want curls because you're going to look like a little girl. And so they went to Jamaica for a weekend, and my mom had just given me a relax, and I'm like, I'm going to get some color while she goes. Because she colored her hair, I want some color. For the moms in here, I did have to go to my mom years later and be like, Mom, I know I was smelling myself for a few years of my life. I come in peace after I had my daughters. I had to do all kinds of apologies because y'all heard that phrase, smelling yourself? Yes. I smelled myself. So I did it, and my hair broke off. And I had long, broad strap length hair. I ran track, and when I ran, I had to feel it running in the wind because that's how I could justify how fast I was going. It was real vain, real vanity. And a lot of it was because, as you see, I'm dark skinned. And most of my siblings are much lighter than me. So I always felt like, why are they so light skinned? I'm so dark skinned. I used to get picked on for being dark skinned. So I felt like all I had was my hair and the fact that, I can run, I'm a little smart, this or that. So the vanity of my hair was massive. And so it broke and it broke and broke going into college. And to the point my freshman year, I was wearing this little perm bob like this. And so my junior year in college, when my hair still didn't bounce back 3 years later, because it was really thin, relaxed. I had one of these India-Ari, come to Jesus, I am not my hair. Did anybody have those college moments? It's something about being away, you just kind of start feeling your life. You did? So I was like, I am not my hair, I'm not getting, my last perm was Christmas of 2005. I said, I'm going to grow this out. And because I was still vain, I did do the whole transition with the press. Not to say there's anything wrong with that if y'all transition with pressing, but that's what I did because I wasn't ready to cut it. And so that summer, who all transitioned with pressing? Anybody? Anybody else? Everybody? When you get to that point where after about 3-4 months of new grow and you wash it and you got this big knot and you're like, I'm gonna either sit here all night and comb it out or I'm gonna have to cut it off. Did y'all go through that? I did. That summer, that July, I was like, you know what, I can't do it. I gotta let it go. So I came home to Augusta and I said, Mom, cut it off. She was like, cut what, your hair? Because she knew how vain I was about it. And I was like, yeah, Ma, do it. She's like, you ain't finna stab me today. I said, Ma, I'm ready. Let's cut it right now. And so we did. I saved that hair in the bag for a year. It's in my bag. It was a process. And we're going to talk about the process of hair, but it was a process for me. But when I cut it off, I wore this short baby fro, probably about as short as it is now. And I struggled finding products. This is like the summer of 2006. I struggled finding products. This was before we see all the products that we see now, before we had them in Target and Walmart. I was using Garnier Fructis by L'Oreal. Y'all know that green stuff? And then that coconut grease from the beauty supply store, that little cheap stuff. I was mixing all kinds of stuff. I had 4 or 5 different products open, wrinkly fingers, all kinds of mess, trying to get my hair to look a certain way. And I was in school in Atlanta. We went to the West End one day, one of my misadventures with me and my friends rolling around the city. And there was this older lady, real Afrocentric lady, kind of come up to me like, sister, you see this shea butter right here? Like, it's, you know, really good for our hair, really good for our skin. And I felt some kind of way because I'm like, that was her cute way of saying, I'm your mama, but you need to do so much more. And so I bought the shea butter and I started experimenting with it. Who's ever used shea butter in its raw form? Don't you get tired of it? You feel like you're getting an arm workout. So now I call myself being slick. I like to say I'm ambitiously lazy. I threw that stuff in the microwave. I'm going to melt this down and just going to pour it in. Anybody ever did that? Melted shea butter and put it in? Y'all was smart. Y'all was smart because it was so thick. I had to use like dish detergent to wash it out. That's how bad it was because it was layered on there. Like I had film of shea butter on my hair. So then when that didn't work, I started whipping it up and mixing it with coconut oil. And I just found myself mixing stuff up. I was already the resident hairstylist because that was always my hustle through high school anyway. So then people were like, hey, where's that shea butter coconut oil mixture? I'm like, oh, right here. You like that greasy stuff? It was greasy. Y'all remember Coming to America? So, the original Coco Curls was so glow, okay? It was so glow. Like, my husband would be like, he was my boyfriend and he was still kind of, you know, not trying to, we weren't too comfortable yet, but he was like, babe, don't leave them out. I had to throw away pillowcases. It was bad. I'm like, nobody gonna buy this. Nobody's gonna buy this greasy stuff. Like, it works, but it's greasy. And at this time, I was taking an African American entrepreneurship class, and we learned about the Black Wall Street and all the stuff that I didn't know about African Americans and economics. And I had to read Madam C.J. Walker's book. And any woman in here who's even thinking about entrepreneurship or just kind of doing something against the grain, that's a great book to read. Because after reading it, I was like, well, if she can make a product in the 1900s, although she did learn from Annie Poirot, just to add a little piece of that, she wasn't necessarily the first, I felt inspired. And I went home, I was thinking about it a lot, meditating on it a lot, and I honestly had a dream about it. And the main 5 ingredients that are still in the product today are what came to me in a dream then. It was that Soul Glow mixture, but I'm like, these came to me in a dream, they must be something. And so this is around 2007. So for years, I kind of went all the way around the block trying all kinds of